Lonnie, tell us a little bit about yourself, um, where you're from, what school did you go to, and so on.
Sure. From Charleston, South Carolina, and I went to University of South Carolina. I graduated in 2019, and
Excellent. Mhm.
Charlotte.
Excellent, excellent. So Lonnie is one of our students, just went through like every one of you students that are in this line. Lonnie, tell me, in your journey, you know, what are some of the things that you face as challenges? Because the same challenges, that you faced, some of our students may be facing as well. So if you're going to speak to a Lonnie that is in the ninth grade, right? Or in the 10th grade, what would you tell that Lonnie, right? So first talk about your challenges and then tell what are some of the things that you learned in this journey?
Sure. So in ninth grade, I currently wasn't living with either of my parents. I wasn't allowed to, and so my dad was in jail, and my mom wasn't able to have custody of me. And so at that point, I was just living with cousins, and it was a big challenge there. I was kind of being rebellious. I wasn't feeling like they wanted me, almost like I was pawned off on them. And so that kind of made me feel like I just like no one wanted me kind of. And even though like looking back, they took me in and they wanted to help me. And it's just I had trouble accepting that. But I would say that the biggest challenges were kind of just separating like school and life and just trying to like pursue good grades and actually like better myself in school without life affecting me, because that was very difficult whenever something was going on at home that I had no control of at that time. It was difficult to be able to do well in school. I think I went from missing around like I think in eighth grade I missed probably about 40 something days of school, and then in ninth grade, whenever I went with my cousins, they kind of put some structure in my life, and that definitely helped me. I missed probably 1 or 2 days of school there, so that really helped me in school.
Excellent. So, Lonnie, if you're going to tell the younger self of yourself, right? If you're going to talk to Lonnie that is in the eighth grade or ninth grade, what kind of advice would you give to the younger version of Lonnie?
I would definitely tell him to take the ninth through 12th years, ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th very seriously. Those are like the years that you use to get into college. And those are really the building blocks where you can actually get credits in college, where you can actually build up kind of almost making yourself like proud of yourself, kind of showing you that you can do it. And then that pulls you into actually college, and like whenever you're up by yourself with, like without family beside like right beside you, kind of allows you to be able to do well there. And just knowing that you have that confidence to actually succeed and do that, I think that's the biggest thing. It's just making sure that you develop confidence in yourself in schooling and life in general.
Lonnie, I know that when we started this journey with you, you were always very quiet. Yeah, you haven't talked this much, I'm even today surprised that you talk this much, But what was the breaking point for you to open up from that state?
I think like I was saying with like the confidence, that's really like what helped me. I think uh whenever I was kind of young, I was kind of like staying by myself because I like only had sisters. I was the only boy, so I just kind of stayed in my room, do my own thing, and I just played video games and stuff. But as I got older and kind of, I guess, developed more friendships and everything, especially through Proverbs 2:26, that helped me there. Just being able to connect with people and not having to almost hide the fact that I like my dad was in jail. Like I always felt like that was something I did have to hide, and just knowing that I didn't have to be like ashamed about that. That really helped me open up and kind of feel better about myself as a person. And then like reconnecting with my dad as well. That helped as well.
Excellent. So, Lonnie, in college, what did you major in?
In college, I majored in computer engineering.
Excellent. So, what are you doing now, Lonnie?
Currently working at Bank of America, right beside you.
So, when there's a video that is out there, and we asked Lonnie, if God gives you three wishes, how would you use them? And we have that video still out there. And in that video, Lonnie was saying he wants to work with Mr. Cyril. So, his dream has come true. He's now an information architect working for Bank of America. And Lonnie, is also, you know, over these years have, not only joined the Bank of America, he is debt free. He doesn't have any college debt. He paid it off. And also he owns a house in Charlotte. And in fact, what he has done is he has rented out the rooms that he has in his house and have the rent pay his mortgage. Isn't that smart of him to do it? So we're very proud of you, Lonnie. And Lonnie is one of the four kids that's going to take over the Kids2Career from here. They're going to drive, some of the, the strategies and everything, and the journey of Lonnie wasn't simple and easy. He had so many of those trials and tribulations, just like every one of us. And how he handled himself is just amazing. In fact, the Break the Cycle movie, Lonnie doesn't know that part of his story is actually weaved into Break the Cycle movie, because Lonnie's dad used to send him a book or a notebook with the drawings on it, and that's incorporated into the movie. If you want to know more about Lonnie Gaskell's life and how he was able to forgive his father, there is a podcast that we did with Lonnie, and we will send you the podcast. You should listen to that whole story. Lonnie is just as Whitney Janikin said, he's an inspiration for many of us, who do this day in and day out to help the kids, to watch the kids grow right in front of us is such a blessing. And the next one that I want to bring to the forefront is Whitney Jonican. Whitney, if you're able to, pull your camera back up, and if you start to speak, and you will come to the forefront. And some of you who are watching this, you can click on the very right-hand side top where it says view, and you can put the speaker view so that you can actually hear the speaker's face, on your screen. Whitney Jonican, are you there?
Yes, I'm trying to get in a place to where I'm camera ready. So I don't know if you want me to like wait.
That that's all right. That's all right. Don't worry about all of those things, Whitney. We would love to definitely see your face, but Whitney, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Well, I also, like Lonnie, went to University of South Carolina, Columbia, and I actually am a double Gamecock. I went there and got my bachelor's and master's degree. And I'm also
Excellent.
from Aiken, South Carolina. Look out where I was from.
Can you hear us, Whitney?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can,
Okay. Okay.
definitely. So, Whitney, what was the inspired? So, you did a bachelor's degree, right?
Yeah.
A
Yes.
lot of us would have stopped with a bachelor's degree. What made you to go to the master's degree, Whitney?
So to be honest, when I graduated, I graduated in 2021 and I had a degree in public relations. And I'm sorry if you can hear my background noise. I'm at my cousin's house. But yeah, like graduated with a PR degree. And then in 2021, I saw that there wasn't many jobs available in my field. And I was also just thinking about future wise. I had to look out. Like I knew my sister was going to college as well. And so I really wanted to, I knew I struggled in college with paying for things. And so I know like the overall goal was to really help her so she wouldn't have to go through all that. So I decided, hey, like I saw like this ad for just this degree in HR and just the return on investment it would make if I decided to take on a career in HR and then decided, hey, like I'm gonna go ahead and apply for this program. And then after taking the GRE 3 times and loads of prayer, I got into the program.
So, Whitney, you also made a very conscious decisions to move from NGU to USC, right?
Yes. Yep.
What are some of the thoughts that you had in your mind? Because sometimes when we make the first decision to go to college, that may not be the college that you want to put yourself in, or while you're in there first year, you are very quick in making that switch. What were some of the things that were going in your mind when you had to switch over from, NGU to USC?
Well, one of the main things in my mind when making that decision was that I felt NGU was very sheltered. And I'm also really big on just trying to grow and challenge myself in areas that like I think most people are afraid to do. And so I decided, honestly, if I stay at NGU, I won't be able to grow and also just be ready to experience the real world. So I decided, and also it's also a cheaper decision to go ahead and transfer to USC. So just with growth and trying to be prepared for just life in the real world was my ultimate reason.
Right. The thing is, Whitney, what I've always also inspired by you and Lonnie and Caroline and so on is how you guys fought this battle, right? Through. So if you are talking to a younger Whitney Jonican today, what would you say to the younger version of Whitney to look for?
I just want to remind one thing that I still remember Whitney the first day I met her. She was so scared and she had no hope. I still remember her face clearly. And I want to hear you say, what do you say to that Whitney on that day, right now, turning back?
Honestly, I would tell her like there's really nothing you can't do. I think growing up, I used to doubt myself just based on like just the situation of my parents and all the things that I went through. I would just doubt myself and just really I have like a lot of fear. And I also I have to attribute this like I got a lot closer to God. And then also remembering that, I always think like Second Timothy where it talks about for like God did not give me a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And so I honestly began to walk in that and to also just prioritize like my faith and also understand that like I wasn't created to live in this world by myself, like for myself, but like for God's purpose. So honestly, that's really one of the reasons like for me to understand that I wasn't created to live here by myself, like for my purpose. And that, yeah, I would tell her, like, there's nothing you can't do. Like, this is honestly just the beginning.
Amen. Amen. So there are some students that are in this line. You're probably in your eighth grade or you're in a high school. If you guys have any questions for both Lonnie and Whitney, go ahead and ask them because it's not like they had a free ride to get to this point. They went through every same difficulty and struggle some of you may be going through right now. So you can ask them these questions so they can honestly answer from their life experience as well. Very quiet group, huh? You can go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you're a volunteer, wants to know more about, Whitney or Lonnie, this is the time. No questions, huh?
Whitney, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
What are you doing now? Did I miss that?
No. So I actually live in Charlotte as well. I just moved here in March. So I currently am in a HR development program in Charlotte.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
I have a question for Whitney and Lonnie. But would you like, if, because we're in Texas and I've never done the Kids2Career, but I'm super excited about it, and I've grown to know and love Sister Sarah and Sister Barbara and Jay and Lori and all those that have helped. But like, what would be some advice you'd give a mentor in the Kids2Career as we're trying to kick this off here in Texas?
I mean, so one of a piece of advice I would give to a mentor would be, I would say just constant encouragement, but also just to be real as well. I think sometimes we can be so encouraging that like we kind of ignore the reality of things. So I mean, honestly, if I was just if I was that's what I want, especially being like just a kid who was also in this program. I like someone to just be encouraging, but also to just be real about just the things I may face.
Mm-hmm.
Such as what? That's great advice. Such as what would be an example, Whitney, if you don't mind?
Yeah. So so an example for me, I think a lot of people are kind of just like a lot of cliche things. Oh, you can do this, you got this, and then there's really nothing you can do. But like, I think a lot of people are, I heard that a lot just based on just all the things I think people forget that just I'm a kid who like, I mean, I'm, let's be real with you, like I'm a female in a world where like maybe like the world isn't necessarily the most friendly to me. So I think just being honest in that aspect of, hey, like, like I see you not just like I'm like seeing just your situation, but I see you and like your individuality, and that like things are going to be hard for you, but here's how like here's some helpful tips, or like here's how I can see you get through this.
Thank you.
What about you, Lonnie? If you have to give an advice to a mentor, what would you say to that mentor?
I do like what Whitney said about being real. I do like that, and also kind of just understanding that the kids are going through a lot, and like the way they might act might not be how they like want to. I mean, like I said, whenever I was around probably about 14, 15, I just didn't understand my situation too well, and I was having trouble with it. And I don't know, I wouldn't take like a lot of the stuff personal. I would try and like make sure that you're just like understanding their situation and like just there for them. And yeah, whenever they look back, they're going to appreciate every second of what y'all are doing. They will. And I think that's something to really keep in mind, because even if it's not shown now, they will 100% think back to it, because I did the same for my people that looked out for me and everyone at Proverbs as well.
One question that's there on the chat, either one of you can take it. How did you manage school and personal life, from Bree?
Let's see, Whitney, do you want to take this one, or would you like me to?
I mean, I could say just a little bit. I think you probably have a better answer than I would, but I would say the thing is, to be honest, I didn't manage it well. I think I focused on just the future. I'm a very future focused person. So I kept thinking like, what can I do now that's going to impact my future? So to be honest, I really didn't have much of a personal life, because I was so focused on trying to figure out what can I do now to like impact my future.
Lonnie?
Definitely. And I'll let's see, how did you manage school and personal life? I think the biggest thing with for me was for school, I would always think it as something that would like kind of need to be done. Like if I didn't do it, I was going to fall behind, and it would hurt me either way. And it would like not doing well in school would always hurt. But if I did well in school, that would help me in my own personal life. It would help me feel better about myself, about not being so stressed with school. And even if personal life was doing bad, I would still focus on that. Like, I remember at one point, I got a call from my dad, and he was saying that like he was about to, I think, like steal or something. And I was telling him, I was like, Dad, please don't. I was like, please, like, I know this isn't going to end well. And it didn't end well. But in that moment, I couldn't let that affect me. I knew that it wasn't going to like it was going to happen, and it was like on my mind, but I just knew that I had to keep focusing on myself, because if I didn't focus like on getting my schoolwork done and doing well in school, then not only would that have happened with my dad, but also I'd be not doing well in school, and it would just add to the turmoil. And so I just knew you got to separate those two to where you're doing well with school, and that way, like, it's easier to handle things in your personal life.
Any other question for
Um,
Lonnie?
can I ask Anna?
Sure, please.
So first of all, Lonnie and Whitney, thank you so much for talking to the kids. It's just not for the kids, for everyone on this, like especially for me, what I'm undergoing. And you guys were like very honest with your failures. You did like say like what do you fall on, like and accepted that with what your parents are going through. So that's incredible. The question I have you for is like, you guys might have heard about our 5-2 trade school that is like, being a law, and we are starting with that. What do you think, like 15 years from the now, like, how do you think like 5-2 trade school would be? Like, what do you think or dream about this 5-2 trade school?
They both are on mute, huh?
I'll go first with this one. I think for 15 years from now, I would love to see about 6 different like subjects of learning within the trade school. I know that they're doing like a mechanic shop and like culinary and everything as well. So I would love to see about, I would say, maybe 100 or so students just thriving there and learning from their mentors. And I want to see them like graduate from there, going into the workforce and being able to like get careers in that field, and being able to one day possibly come back and like show their support for school as well.
Yeah, I agree with Lonnie. Really being able, especially with the job security, I think so. Like as me working in HR, I think about like just there isn't really much job security. So I mean, when people go through it, to obviously have like some type of job secured, and also just even I guess for also the students that do go through it, that they're that's well supported, and also that they stick with it. So I mean, hopefully, like it grows, like continues to grow, but you also have like a high retention rate.
Great. There's a question on the line from Guy Clifton, Lonnie or Whitney. How much support from home did you have in participating in the program? How, as a mentor, do you help a student who's not in a supportive home environment?
That's a really good question, actually. So I had a pretty good bit of support. I think I did, just because I think my families are really big on just having like just that foundation in Christ. So like I had like a really good support system in terms of just, hey, like, this is like, you can make like I have like this saying that say like whatever God meant for bad, like whatever not God meant for bad, whatever the enemy meant for bad, like God turns into good. And so yeah, like I had a really good support system. I think for those, I guess the advice that a mentor can give to those who don't have a good support system would be to just, I guess, I don't know. I mean, for me, I guess it would be to just remember your, I don't say why, but like to remember your purpose, and or try to understand what your purpose is. So try to like deeply connect with that. And also just, I think something I used to do, I would look at statistics of kids whose parents were like, whose parent had a parent in prison and all that. And for me, I'm like, I gotta like prove them wrong. I like to prove people wrong. So like even looking at stuff like that really helped motivate me. But also I would say just as a mentor, like helping that person understand their purpose and their why, and also like why they need to beat the odds, and also like I guess how how green the grass is on the other side when you do beat the odds versus you like I guess falling like suspect to susceptible to them.
Do you want to take a shot at that, Lonnie?
Sure. Yes. I definitely agree with like kind of proving that you can beat those odds. I definitely felt that as well. And I think my family, like, they kind of wanted me to graduate and everything, but I remember them saying like, "Oh, just graduate like high school." And in my mind, I was like, "Oh, I'm going further than that. I'm going graduate in college. Like, I'm gonna try my best to do that." And I think whenever my dad, I think whenever he heard about Proverbs 2:26, it kind of like motivated him as well. I think it made him realize that he was helping me, and I like he once he got that like in it, like that ability to help me even at the situation where he was, that really inspired him to do well as do better as well. And then it brought my other family kind of supported me with like actually taking to me to these like getting my book bag, getting book bag and everything. And so it kind of brought the family together, trying to support me to get to where like I could get to college. And so I do appreciate everyone for that. And if you're in a spot where you're not actually having someone like some family that's supporting you too well, just know that everyone here at Proverbs 2:26 is like family, and they will support you like in your journey, 100%.
Thank you both very much.
And a question there comes from Miss J, asking, what would you tell a student who wants to know why to go to college?
I mean, because technically in the world that we live in, like you do need like some sort of degree, even though I know you hear like all these stories with like all these like millionaires who don't have degrees. And I'm like, okay, but I would say like even like as I look at jobs now, like you need a degree, you need some sort of degree, at least a bachelor starting out. So even like I know I understand school isn't for everyone, but even if that means going to school, getting a trade or something that like it's something that like kind of gives you like, hey, like I'm certified to do this. Like it does help you better in the long run, especially how the world is changing. Like currently, like all the jobs I see, like you need to have some sort of degree beyond a high school diploma.
Lonnie, want to take a shot?
Sure. Yes, I think that like Whitney said, with it's pretty much needed in a lot of jobs. Even if at some jobs, if you want to be a manager, you just have to have an associate. I'm not exactly sure why they would have that as a requirement, but it is. And I think that another like big thing with actually going to college is if you have a trade that you're really interested in and you're going to develop that trade to like do well in life, then that's like all the power to you, that do well as well. But with college, I think that it also provides you some knowledge with certain um, forms of education, with such as like computer engineering. Whenever I went through that, I had no idea what it was, and that really helped me develop like a baseline and kind of foundation, and actually had peers around me who were trying to study the same, and having those peers around you that are like kind of trying to pursue that same uh, diploma. I mean, it really does help you learn.
Um, the thing is, I really wanted all the students to get to know Whitney and Lonnie better. The one thing that I would say about both of them, they're both very headstrong. There was one time, we were coming out of governor's office. Whitney was there, and it was a great time that we had in governor's office. I mean, home. There was like a bunch of us that spent the whole afternoon in governor's mansion. And as we were coming out, Whitney's car broke down. And she was trying to get over from that point. It was just like a high moment. There was like a mountaintop moment, and right after was just a valley, right? And then there was a lot of mountaintops and a lot of valleys that both Whitney and Lonnie has gone through in their life, but they have just like a strived through all of these things. They have just not given up on like a what was even just like a rough patches that they had to go through. I was very proud of like the moments like that, where, Whitney thrived through that. And there was a time that she had to make a choice to go to do a master's degree, and it was like, again, a valley and a mountaintop experience that she had to go through, but she never gave up. One thing I remember Whitney telling me, Mr. Cyril, I want to complete what my mom has started. That was a very strong statement that Whitney made, and she kept that promise that she hold herself or her own self to be better. She wanted to complete what her mom started, right? And in the Lonnie's life, there was a moment in time, it was like he went through, he had a mountaintop experience. He got like into USC, finished his computer science engineering. He joined the Bank of America. He was doing well in Bank of America. Boom, there was like a life happened. And he lost some of the loved ones on a very dramatic kind of a situation, but Lonnie never deterred from that. And my point to all the students that are out there listening to Lonnie's story, we will do definitely podcast on Whitney as well. I encourage you to look at Lonnie's life. And I did ask Lonnie this question in the podcast, did you forgive your father? And I'm not going to answer that question, or he's not going to answer that question. I want you to go see Lonnie's podcast to listen to what he's saying on all those questions. But in the meantime, what I would love to do today, to get to know your students, we're going to send you to the break room. And, if you click on the break room, right side at the bottom, on the more button, if you click on it, you should see break room. I would love for you to go to that break room. If Miss Laurie invited you to come, go to Miss Laurie's room. If Miss
There's
Sarah invited you to come, go to Miss Sarah's room. And if Miss Barbara or Miss Monique invited you, please go to their room. And if you're a college student, or if you're in the 12th grade, ready to go to college, please go to Miss J's room. And I have asked Miss Whitney to join. Whitney, please join with Miss J in that room. And I see the hand go up for Motorola Edge. I don't know who you are. Are you?
Miss Barbara. Miss
Oh, is
Barbara.
that Miss? Okay. Miss Barbara, go ahead. And if you don't know, and also some of you are joining in. Um, Hold on a second, Jay. We will send you to your room. Um, and you can
There's
click.
one thing I just want to share with one of the students, with all the students, which I enjoyed with Lonnie and Whitney. I want you guys to also enjoy the benefits of Proverbs 2:6, is having a connection with us. Please do not separate yourself and don't see us only as an organization, but we are all here to be part of your successful life. So please, anytime, we have so many mentors now, please reach out to us if there is something we can help you with. Do not hesitate, and please, and we'll be happy to help you with whatever we can. And if Whitney or Lonnie can say a word about what exactly I mean, because they have gone through that, they know what exactly I mean. So if you guys can share just a couple of lines, not too much, so that just giving assurance for this kids what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like Miss J and Mr. Cyril are like honestly like family to me. I know like even from just the time I first met them, like they've just been nothing but supportive. Like there's a lot of things I needed for school and they showed up. And honestly, for me, that's one of the reasons why like I give back, because I'll just never forget, like, at a time where like I really need you guys to really be a support, they were there. So like they honestly do care for you. They honestly want to see your success. They want to see your growth. And even like I think now like I text Miss J every year, Happy Mother's Day, because literally like that's honestly what it felt like. Like, always like being supportive, and always like every time be on the phone, she always tell me like encouraging words. And also like one thing about Miss J, she will be real with you. Miss J will be real with you, and which I appreciate. So like honestly, when they say like they care, they really do. Like you'll see it in so many ways.
Thank you, Whitney.
Of course.
No problem. Yeah, I think that Miss J and Mr. Cyril, they're definitely like just amazing. Like they really do show their support in every way. And I think one of the biggest ways that I could say it is even whenever I went to Rock Hill and like Charlotte for my first couple like days of work and stuff, I didn't have a place to stay at the time. And Mr. Cyril was like, "Don't worry, like I have like someone that can like house you for the night and stuff." And so then Mr. Boston I was able to stay there for a couple nights, I believe, and it's just stuff like that, just able to like take care of you if you actually do need like that support here. And like whenever like I was getting a book bag, I didn't actually have a book bag at the book bag event, and then Cyril said, "Don't worry, like we'll bring one down to you," and actually brought me a Gamecock book bag. And just so I appreciated that so much. I used it all 4 years of college. So just things like that just really show like how much they care for you, and it really does make you want to give back and just like show that you care as well.
And thank you. Miss Sarah, I heard you. I'm going to send you to Miss Sarah's room. At the very bottom, you should click on the More button, and you should see 3 dots at the very bottom. And, when you click on it, you should see a break room there. But I'm going to send you, Miss Sarah, I'm going to send you to there.
Oh, join. Okay.
Great.
I just want to say something quickly.
Do I join? Do I join when it
Yeah,
says?
yeah, Miss Sarah, click on
Okay.
join. That's all you need to
Okay.
do.
I want to say something quickly for Jayden. Jayden is like an early middle schooler, and I know the time has passed, but perhaps Lonnie and Whitney, could encourage him, because a lot of times when we're talking, they give a high school, but let them know. I think it has been talked about how important it is for that middle school for them not to give up. And being a male, that can be say, "Oh, I have a lot of time," but as been shared so many times, this is the time that you start getting your grades together and just being serious. So I think they've covered a lot of this. I think he might be in the room now, so I'm going to my room. But thank you, Ashley, Whitney, and Lonnie. You all have been phenomenal, and I just pray this for every student that's in Proverbs 2:26, that they will come and be as half as you are, but to complete the whole course as you have. So like you said, faith is very important, and those that are in you. So I'm hoping to be that mentor that will be real and help them as much as possible. And thank you both so much. Look forward to your leading too.